Welcome, my dear students and listeners. Today we will discuss the famous poem of English literature, which name is Paradise Lost. This famous poem, which name is Paradise Lost, is a long narrative poem written by John Milton. John Milton was a great English poet. He was born in London in Brett Street, Cheapside on 9th December 1608. He belongs to the Puritan age. What is Puritan age? So I have already delivered a lecture on the topic the Puritan age. You may watch the video on YouTube, the Puritan age. So the Paradise Lost is a long narrative poem written by John Milton. The first version published in 1667, which consists of 10 books and had more than 10,000 lines of verse. But later in 1674, the poem was edited by John Milton, and now the poem of Paradise Lost consists upon 12 volumes. The Paradise Lost is an epic poem. Epic poem is a lengthy and narrative poem about the extraordinary deeds of great heroes. It always has a grand style and subject matter. So, this Paradise Lost has been written in blank verse. Blank verse is a type of poetry written with regular metrical but unrhymed lines. Paradise Lost is considered a masterpiece of John Milton, and it concerns a biblical story of fall of man, the temptation of Adam and Eve by the fallen angel and Satan, and their expulsion from the Garden of Eden. This story of Adam and Eve and their expulsion from the Garden of Eden or paradise has also been discussed by the Holy Quran, but having great difference between the two. However, John Milton has tried the story of Adam and Eve and their temptation by the fallen angels and Satan in a grandeur style, which makes it a great epic. And Paradise Lost is retelling the story of Adam and Eve from the biblical book of Genesis, which describes the creation of heaven and earth and of Adam and Eve. And Paradise Lost takes the basic framework from the Bible story and adds Milton's own interpretation in the form of detailed characters and plots. The story follows the rebellion of Satan, the creation of the world, and finally the fall of Adam and Eve. So now a question arises that why John Milton wrote Paradise Lost. John Milton wrote Paradise Lost after the English Civil War, which broke out in 1642 and ended in 1651. And this was a period of conflict between King Charles I and the Parliament. John Milton was Cromwell's latent secretary in this civil war. So, on one angle, Paradise Lost is an allegorical poem. Allegorical poem is a kind of poem which provides deeper meaning other than the story told in the poem. So, the Paradise Lost is an allegorical poem reflecting the political and religious turmoil of the time, with Satan's rebellion against God. This rebellion against God of Satan pointing the conflict between parliament and the monarchy, and Milton's own republican views. Milton was a strong advocate for republicanism and religious freedom. He believed John Milton was a strong advocate of republicanism and religious freedom and believed in the importance of individual conscience and the right to resist tyranny. Therefore, Milton says in Paradise Lost that better to reign in hell than serve in paradise. And this line seems to become from the bottom of his heart. And he was the lover of freedom, especially in religion. So, this was all about the Paradise Lost. And Paradise Lost, as I mentioned before, is a long narrative poem written by John Milton. This book comprises of 12 volumes, and it is a great epic in English literature. Thank you very much.